It's time for Down on the Corner with Dale Hoffman, North Arkansas's premier news talk program. Brought to you by Brood Awakening Coffee, with 3 locations to serve you. Baxter Regional Medical Center lobby, Highway 62 412 at Balmer Boulevard, and the Walmart East Plaza. And now, Down on the Corner.
Good morning, North Central Arkansas and Southern Missouri. It is Thursday, May 3rd, 2018. It is 7 a.m. Good morning. Welcome to Down on the Corner program. Some of the storms have passed through. More on the way.
Boy, there were some storms now.
Yeah.
Were there?
Yeah.
You slept right through it, didn't you?
I wear earplugs. I don't hear a thing. Were they bad?
The thunder and down to my house, I mean, there's crud everywhere.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
the
just
roads got branches all up and down them.
That's what surprised me, because when I drove in, I didn't see any of that.
As you get to Mountain Home, it didn't seem to be as bad as south of Mountain Home. I mean,
Really?
the roads and stuff were all clear here,
Wow.
but down there was branches and crud
Maybe a little bit
everywhere.
more severe down there. Boy, that humidity and dew point came up.
Yeah.
Finally looked at the gauge in the house. Air conditioner time. Got to dry this house out. You know, humidity getting up. Anyway, good morning. Welcome to Down on the Corner, and we'll get to the weather here in just a little bit. Right now, I need to tell you about Brood Awakening Coffee. Best coffee in town. Brood Awakening, 3 locations to serve you. Balmer Boulevard, Baxter Regional Medical Center lobby, and of course 62 East Plaza out by Anytime Fitness. And how is it today?
Very good.
Yeah,
very good.
Good coffee in it. Wow, love it.
And they have cinnamon rolls and those little frosty top cupcakes, too.
Yeah,
Good stuff.
pretty good stuff.
I haven't seen the cupcakes. Cinnamon rolls now. We
Oh, yeah, we had
them in
those
here
last
all day,
week. Yeah. Wow. Be sure to check out Brood Awakening Coffee. You're not drinking Brood Awakening, just drinking muddy water. Brood Awakening is the best coffee in town.
What's Scooter drinking today?
Pepsi.
Pepsi. That sweet caramel syrup.
Saccharin.
Clog those arteries. My coffee will wash that stuff out, yeah.
Coffee will kill about anything in you. Your
Yeah.
coffee is, but it makes my hair grow too fast.
Like a radiator flush. Just
There
get
you
this
go.
stuff out.
Roller Feeder Homes of Arkansas bring the morning prayer each and every day. With all our respect, when the need arises, Roller Funeral Homes will treat you with the utmost respect and dignity for the service of your loved one. Let's pause now for the morning prayer. Heavenly Father, since 2009, this country has gone from being united after 9/11 to divided into many groups. The races are as divided as they were in the 1960s. And then Hollywood seems to make fun of anyone that's a Christian or pro-life or sexually straight. Our society has started a so-called war on the very people trained to protect us. Police are getting shot at home, at gas pumps, on the street, wherever, and it's absurd. Lord, we should be one united people under God in this country, and I pray you restore our land and unite our people, and that's my prayer today. Amen.
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 Roller Funeral Homes of Arkansas bring you morning prayer each and every day with all our respect when the need arises. Roller Funeral Homes.
Da-da-da.
Da-da-da,
Now
Greg's
for
Farm
weather.
Services. Here we go. I'm going to refresh that and back that up. On the farm, around the home, in the community, Greg Farm Services. And what do we have going on? The Mother's Day sales items continue. Belts and bling, 30% off. Corinthian bell wind chimes, 15% off. Jewelry and purses at a 20% discount right now. They have pink case pocket knives for that special someone, 15%. Hanging baskets, 10% off. And the list goes on and on and on. I could read it to you, or I can tell you to log on to gregsfarmservices.com so you can see for yourself. Other great specials, they have the Pest Off Bird Feeder, the Garden Cart. I think that Garden Cart, it's only $80. 800-pound capacity, $20.
You could even pull Jerry around.
Have to
I
air
knew
the
that
tires
was
up a little bit.
Put a motor on it.
Scott's Topsoil, great price, 3/4 cubic foot for $1.99. Cotton Burr Compost, 2 cubic foot, great quality compost at a great price, $6.49, available now at Greg's Farm Services. Check out the double or single shepherd hooks, 91 inches in length, $16.99 for double offset, single hook for $14.99. Be sure to check out the Husqvarna lawn equipment, the X-Marks, and the Cub Cadets. In Midway, the Power Shop, 8704-81-5226. The Feed Store in Midway, 870-481-5165. In Mountain Home, the Power Shop is 870-701-5171. Greg Farm Services in the home, around the home, on the farm, and in the community. Greg Farm Services brings the morning weather where we are finally into springtime temperatures in the morning. 73 degrees in Mountain Home, 64 at Harrison, 66 at Hardy. Mountain View checks in at 73, 64 at Yellville, 73 at Marshall and Calico Rock. St. Louis, Missouri at 67 with apparently some showers there, 70 at Poplar Bluff. Branson checks in at 63 and West Plains at 64, and it's almost springtime in North Dakota where it's 39 degrees this morning in Watford City, North Dakota. And why do I do that? I got a son living up there, and it's just kind of tongue-in-cheek, so it just got to...
It'll look good in summertime, though, when we're 90 and they're 70. I'm
going to hit that St. Louis radar real quick. Well, let me go to Springfield, Illinois, and see. This is what came through last night, and we're looking at from Terre Haute, Indiana, all the way down to the southern tip of Illinois, just to the northeast of Poplar Bluff, Missouri, where the radar stop ends. You can see I-57, you can see I-74, I-70. That's right here where my cursor is at is St. Louis, and this is the I-70 corridor towards Effingham, Illinois. You can see that line of storms that came through there. Let me hit the Little Rock stop if I can even find it. It's kind of under the globs. Still have the residual from last night's storms on the state line just east of Mountain Home over around that'd be Sharp County. Let's say I'm going to say Stone, Fulton Izard, Randolph, Lawrence counties being affected right now with the tail end of that storm. Other showers trail all the way back into Oklahoma, south of Fort Smith, down around Mena, Fort Smith, Fayetteville, seeing some activity right now. So if you're north of I-40, you're going to be getting some shower activity pretty much along that northern half of the state, and even south of I-40 there, you see, so it trails off down to I-30. The only thing not affected in Arkansas right now is south and southeast of I-30 and south of I-40 once you get east of Little Rock right there. And Missouri, southwest Missouri, you can see the Springfield-Branson area there. Shower activity along I-44 from Joplin to Springfield. And more will continue. You can see northern Arkansas there with what we have to put up with yet to come.
Let's take a look at the national radar for a minute.
Okay.
It wasn't on long enough for anybody to see where the storms were, so I wanted to make sure I get that on the screen where people can see where things are running. And
so right now the start of the rain is actually in New York State, comes back across New York into Pennsylvania, Ohio. The Great Lakes area is affected right now, even Chicago. You can see it mainly, a lot of Illinois getting a lot of heavy shower activity right now. Trails off into east central Missouri and southeast Missouri, all the way down into southern Illinois, western Kentucky, western Tennessee. Let me hit that Chicago radar and see what we got at Chicago. I'm going to hit that, Scooter. Here's the Chicago stop. You see Lake Michigan right there in south of Chicago. This would be I-74, I-64, I'm sorry, I-65, I-57, and I-55 as they come up towards Joliet, Illinois, and places like that. So that's what's going on near the Chicago area right now. And so
I know at 3 o'clock this morning when it was thundering and what in the world did you bring up there?
I'm going to hit that forecast for Mountain Home.
Switch over to that screen.
Yeah.
It was all red for us.
Oh, yeah.
And there was a huge sail coming through.
Yep. Oh, you know, I got the KY3 app. Bing, heavy rain coming to your area. Bing, lightning. All right.
Be like, all right,
if you weren't warned, you weren't out. There you go. You know, 70% chance of more showers and storms today. 60% tonight. Friday it drops off to a 20% chance. Friday night is mostly cloudy with a low of 56. And Saturday morning, a slight chance of thunder showers early in the morning. Then it should clear off by the evening. Then Sunday looks to be sunny and 82. Monday, Sunday, and sunny and 78.
So in other words, it may be a little wet to do yard work this weekend.
Could be. Darn.
I've got most of mine done. I just got one
I
side
fertilized the front yard, and I've got to go and got to do some mowing.
Well, the rain's good for the fertilizing, but if it doesn't rain too much and wash it all off.
If you don't like mowing, don't fertilize.
Yeah, I got to green it up a little bit, get rid of some weeds, you know.
I got a thing for you.
What?
Back when I was younger and I was in mechanic school, we were doing a class on small engines or whatever, and there was a guy that invented a grass that is like the ultimate grass. It grows 1 inch a year. in almost any condition. It is golf course style grass. I mean, just thick, plush. The sun doesn't hurt it. It doesn't need a lot of rain. It just was a beautiful grass. Who bought the patent to that grass?
Houston Astros.
No.
AstroTurf.
Mm-hmm.
Briggs and Stratton.
Ah.
That would have killed their business that ever hit the market.
Ah.
Small, most of your mowers, all your small engine are Briggs and Stratton. They paid like $5 million for that and put it on.
How many different lawnmower engines can you remember from the past?
Oh, man.
Briggs and Stratton, Tecumseh, Waukesha, Clinton,
Vanguard.
Wisconsin.
Yeah.
They were an air-cooled engine.
They all are.
Yeah.
They're wicked engines.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
There's your quiz of the day.
Yeah.
And you both failed.
Oh, well. What do we got in community calendar?
Well, today is the last concert of the Mountain Home Bombers. That'll be at the high school at 7 p.m. today. And then you have the Friends of the NRA today out the Baxter County Fairgrounds. If you'd like tickets to that, I think they're $35 a ticket, or you can buy a table and save a little money. You can reach Bo Tremmel on that at 404-0213, and that is going on tonight. There's going to be raffles.
It's actually really fun to go. Have you ever been to one?
I have not.
I did. I've
go
been to a couple of. Yeah, and I've won stuff every time. Some really cool stuff. I mean, their prizes are amazing.
Wow.
But you get when you get your ticket, you automatically get a shot at raffling off these drawings and stuff. But it was really cool. I think one year I've got a big, huge fire pit thing. It has NRA down the side where it gets air, and I mean, they really did it up nice.
I heard this year it's a little different because they're out at the fairgrounds. Last year was at Gaston's, and Doug was like, "Oh, it's cool. Gaston's took care of everything." Well, this year they actually have to set up, tear down, all that.
Wow.
So.
Problem is, they outgrew Gaston's.
Yes, they did.
It wasn't big enough, so.
I remember them last year saying,
Boy,
pull the ads. We filled it up.
And
people still want it in. So it's a big event. May 5th, you have the grand. Well, it's going to be a big tournament out at DHF Archery in Bull Shoals. There's going to be free food all day from several different vendors. And if you're into archery or not into archery, I'm actually not into archery, but I went out there and it made you want to get into it because these pop-up targets and it's just state-of-the-art stuff.
I'm into archery. I love that stuff.
Yeah,
I love it.
I have a recurve, but like I say, I would not depend on myself to put down an animal with that. But a lot of these people are just out there for sport, so. As a sport, I think I might be getting into that.
It's a beautiful place. You guys need to go out and check it out. Really, it is beautiful.
And see the best shooters in the country. May 5th, they're coming in. So.
In the meantime, I just told everybody on our Down on the Corner Facebook page, good morning. Had some folks joining us on Facebook this morning live.
Awesome.
Good to have everybody. And anyway, it is 7:13. Sheriff John Montgomery is in the studio. We're going to be talking with him for the next 45 minutes. So we're going to take a quick break and be right back with the sheriff. Stick around. With a large showroom of over 13,000 square feet, the Furniture Depot is your local choice for quality name brand furniture at prices anyone can afford. They carry a great selection of catnapper recliners, power recliners with lumbar support, and lift chairs. Check out Furniture Depot's variety of living room and dining room sets in various styles and designs. And don't forget about their mattress gallery featuring Serta, Symbol mattresses, and adjustable beds. Family owned and operated, that's Furniture Depot, located in the Ozark Shopping Center in Mountain Home.
If you want the best breakfast or lunch in the Twin Lakes area, then you've got to come to the Old Time Restaurant. Voted the best breakfast and lunch for 2011, the Old Time Restaurant not only gives you the Southern hospitality right when you walk in the door, they also offer scrumptious breakfast options to curb that early morning appetite. Or stop in later in the day for a tasty sandwich, salad, or a daily special. If a sweet tooth is your guilty pleasure, you can't go wrong with the Pie Lady cooking out over 30 different types of pies. That's the Old Time Restaurant located on the square in Mountain Home. You already know that Ferris mowers are the only mowers on the market with a patented spring suspension system, saving you time in the seat, less back stress, and a professional even cut every time. You already know that Mower Warehouse is the only area dealership that will accept your mower trade-in. But did you know that a truckload of discounted 2017 models just arrived at Mower Warehouse, allowing you the pleasure of saving hundreds of dollars on your next mower purchase of a new Ferris or Simplicity zero-turn machine? Come check out the parking lot sale at Mower Warehouse, located on Buzzard Roost in Mountain Home.
You've tried medications just cover up the pain, and you've tried dieting to help lose weight. Before you try something drastic like surgery to get rid of the numbness and tingling, why don't you try a better approach to health? Hi, I'm Dr. Charles Osgood, and at Mountain Home Family Chiropractic, we heal the whole person the natural way.
At Mountain Home Family Chiropractic, we take a hands-on approach to chiropractic care, massage therapy, and nutritional counseling. Our 20 years of service has led to successful results.
When I come in to see Dr. Osgood, sometimes after one adjustment, I have immediate relief. Sometimes it takes 4 or 5 adjustments.
I recommend Mountain Home Family Chiropractic because it really works and keeps me pain-free.
Mountain Home Family Chiropractic supports the community by donating to Mountain Home Food Basket and the Lions Club. Request an appointment with us today at Mountain Home Family Chiropractic. Excellence for your body and frame alignment.
"7:16 on this Thursday morning. We want to welcome once again our Sheriff of Baxter County, John Montgomery. Welcome again, sir. Good to have you.
Good morning.
How you been?
Just a little busy lately, but we're good. Always good.
During the break, I told the sheriff, I said, well, logged in Sunday morning, had 123 population of Baxter County. I thought, where are you putting them all? It's got to be tough right now.
It's tough for 2 reasons. One, finding a spot to put them, because we only have 100 beds, and so we got a 120, whatever it was, 122, 123, but then you got jail staff. We're already short-staffed as it is, and so it creates a dangerous situation for the employees there. When you put that many people crammed into a small space, it creates problems. So we're hopeful.
But relief is on its way, but it's going to take time.
Relief is on its way. We are still hopeful that somewhere around mid to late summer of next year, 2019, we'll have an additional 65 beds available. So, and I think we haven't set an exact date to let out bids, but I think we're still shooting for June. So to get that, we're finalizing, working with the architects, finalizing the last pieces of the addition.
You know, we might as well open up Pandora's box here and just talk about this. You know, I'm looking at some of these things, and a lot of this is drug related. A lot of this is abuse, domestic violence. And of course, over the years, you know, Channel 3's been down and we've talked about overcrowding and repeat offenders. The psychological part. I mean, Scooter and Jeremy, we'll sit here, we can talk, and never does it come up like, boy, you see that business across the street, I think tonight I'm going to break the windows out and see what's in there, see what I can take, or in my residential neighborhood. That don't ever, you know, and I don't care what boxes are in the trash. You know, Ashley Reynolds up there says, if you just bought this new TV or computer, whatever it is, don't put the box out in the trash like that because people know what's in there. I could care less. But yet other people can't wait to break in.
Yeah, you know,
I guess if you could figure that part out, you wouldn't have 115 people in the jail this morning.
Right. Now, as far as the psychological issue, I mean, I don't know. I'm not a psychologist, psychiatrist. It is just a different in a criminal mindset.
You know, and I'm looking here, and I'm wondering, this is May 3rd. You've got 115 in the jail right now. Between now and, say, Labor Day in September, our immediate population is going to go from 12,000 residents to, you're going to add probably 25 to 30,000 visitors. Something happens, you know, you've got to have room for those that need arrested here, let alone those that come down and do something wrong, you know.
Right. Well, I still believe in accountability. You've got to hold people accountable. And unfortunately, because of the population of the jail, and not just the jail, but the prison overcrowding.
Right.
You know, you look at us, and we're not unique in this. Marion County's haven't faced the same issue. Of course, they're, I think they're towards the end of this year going to open up their new jail. But sheriffs all over the state are facing with the same issue. And those people waiting to go to prison, there's I believe it was 1,400 and something that's currently backlogged waiting to go to prison.
In the meantime, we're flipping the bill in Baxter County for those that are here.
Well, we get
Same thing in Marion?
we get paid for $30 a day to hold a state inmate, and it costs us about $49. So
You go in the hole.
we're making money. It's kind of like selling watermelons. You buy watermelons for $1 and you sell them for $1. So you got to sell more watermelons.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Go arrest more people, right?
Actually,
so why can't we up the ante for what they owe you? I mean, say that again. They give you how much?
$30 a day. That got raised 2 years ago. It was 28.
Yeah.
So now it's $30 a day.
And it cost you?
About 49 something and some change. Well, the issue is it all comes down to money. So there's a backlog. The state doesn't want to build any more prisons, and you've got folks on the one side that says, "Oh, well, we incarcerate more people than any other state, country, whatever." While I may not be a psychologist and know the answer to this, Dale, here's what I do know. I do know that while the feel-gooders say that we need to be kinder and gentler and on these people and find all these different ways to not send them to prison. Okay, that's what I hear all the time. We got to find alternative solutions than to send them to prison. Well, here's what I do know. Prison has become very soft. They provide iPads and notebooks and Walkmans and you name it, all those things that they're providing to the inmates in prison now. They have television. And their argument is they've got to keep the inmate happy because they're short-staffed. There's not enough money to have enough guards to guard them, so you got to keep the inmates happy. You got to have something to hold over them that you can take away from them if they don't behave. So we've become so soft. What I do know is that ever since we've gone down this path of more and more probation and softer and softer time in prison, we're arresting more people. There is no accountability. It is not like, again, in the old days, when you were a kid growing up, you did something wrong, you got punished.
Well, the thing is, when I remember, we could be anywhere in there. Of course, I grew up in southern Illinois, just outside of St. Louis. And if the neighbors' parents, the friends we're playing with, Dale, you shouldn't be doing that, they'd correct us. And that was how it is in the neighborhood, whether we're at church or school, something like that. Now, I know that if your dad found out about this, he's going to swat your butt when he gets home. A good old-fashioned spanking.
Well, it has gotten softer.
But nowadays, it seems like it ought to be politically correct. And
I mean, if you just listen to listen to the news this morning, probation. Okay, they gave probation to someone that was participating in an armed robbery. She was a getaway driver.
That's an accomplice.
Well, she got probation. Okay, very frustrating. Now you can argue, well, there's no place to put them, so therefore we can't send them. It's a catch-22 in a way. There is no place to put them, so therefore we're going to give them probation. Well, they're not getting any kind of punishment. And then on top of that, think about this. If you were a school teacher, what do you think would be a large class size? I mean, I'm talking about a big class.
I remember one of our largest at my elementary school was 35 students in the classroom.
Okay. So would you guys agree 35 would be a big class?
For high school, yeah.
Okay. Well, when you think about it, and so that teacher is not only supposed to be teaching, but also supposed to be making sure they are, behaving, sitting in line. Our probation and parole officers right now average over 180 each. Yeah.
Well, that's just impossible.
You're right.
And don't they see those on a monthly basis?
Well, yeah.
So, I mean, supposed to.
Well, and I'm not knocking the probation parole officers. They're doing the very best they can, but that's ridiculous. When the average is supposed to be in the 50 to 60 range. That's what it's supposed to be.
So you're bound by law to do it. You're sworn into that office to follow the law, but if now can I word this correctly? If the people that make the laws are making it impossible for you to do your job, who's in the wrong here?
It comes down to money. It always seems to come down to money. And it's just it's very, very frustrating because if you look at the hierarchy of needs, safety and security is number one.
If we were to pull all of the drug offenses out of your business, how low would that number go?
Well, you're gonna have to be clearer than that. What do you mean by drug offenses? You're talking about just those that's got charged with drugs, or do you mean those that's committed other crimes because of drugs?
Ooh. Let's go with the first one. Just say that you picked me up for selling. Say that I sold 10 grams of cocaine.
And you're talking about who's in there now? I
Yeah.
mean, we could have to go through there and go list by list, because. But I would say probably you might get rid of maybe 20%.
Yeah, that's what I was guessing. 20%.
Now, if you go to those crime-related or drug-related that's committed other crimes because of drugs, you'd cut that down probably 75%. So I want to point out one more thing, and I know you've heard me harp on this before, but everybody talks about cost. So when you talk to the governor, he talks about cost to, incarcerate, cost to prison, cost to hire probation and parole officers. You talk to the legislatures, well, there's a cost. We can't afford, we don't need to be spending all this money on locking people up. And when you go back to 2011, there was a prison reform bill passed. It's called Act 570. And that law that went into effect basically reduced the penalty on every drug offense and almost every theft offense. Reduced the penalty. It also put in place guidelines to put, and it was close to 50% of the people that were going to prison to put them on probation instead of prison, with the understanding that we're going to hire more probation and parole officers so we can watch them closer and help them succeed.
Didn't work, did it?
Well, we're at 180 apiece. We're going backwards. It didn't work. And so while we
was that a state bill or is that a federal bill?
State.
Oh
yeah. It's I'm sorry, it's our Republican legislators.
2011, wouldn't it be BB's bunch?
Well, 2011 570 was BB's. That was his bill. But we've passed 2 more prison reform bills under a Republican governor and Republican leadership. And
they ain't working, is it?
No, it's not working. And here's my frustration. And I'll probably get phone calls when I leave here, but here's my frustration. Everybody wants to talk about the cost. But here's my question. What does it cost to the victim? When your house is getting broken into and your things are getting stolen and your family's getting hurt, physically hurt, what is the cost to law enforcement that we're having to constantly deal with these folks, to investigate crimes, and the cost to incarcerate them in our jail, waiting to go to court? Many of these people sit in our jail for months to go to court, then to get probation and turned loose, that we're going to have to turn right around and go back and deal with again. But then let's talk about the courts. What's it cost in the courts? We're clogging up the court system with repeat offenders. And I've said over and over and over, there is a cost. But I would argue that the cost would be less if you would actually deal with it on the front end instead of kicking the can down the road.
Yeah, you're right. I agree. Hold that thought. 7:29, going to take a break. Scooter, be right back.
Be right back.
All right.
More than just propane, Reeves Propane provides you full-service propane delivery as well as tank and piping installation. We are your dependable choice, offering the very best in personal service with on-time deliveries and competitive prices. Reeves Propane also sells and installs tankless water heaters and appliances and can even convert your gas cook stove to liquid propane. So no need to fuss and cuss about bad service. Call us at Reeves Propane. We greatly appreciate your business and God bless.
Why would I recommend Hospice of the Ozarks? Because I know the people that work there, I know their hearts, and I know that their desire is to help people with the suffering and the anxiety and the things that can come with either terminal diagnosis or a terminal condition. We want them to have a peace of heart and to have a comfort and to know that someone's there to help them through that so they can enjoy the time that they have.
Hello, I'm Charles Ferguson. Here at Mountain View Chevrolet, we still do business the old-fashioned way with honesty and integrity. And we have a good inventory of new Chevy cars, trucks, and SUVs from large to small. Our service department has all GM certified technicians, and our friendly salespeople are ready and eager to fit a car truck to your needs in a price range you can afford. We also have a lot full of pre-owned cars and trucks, program and new car trade-ins to choose from. So come see us at Mountain View Chevrolet.
Do you know where your money goes when you give to charity? At the Salvation Army, 85 cents of every dollar stays to help those in need in our local community. Hi, I'm Captain Spaulding. The money we raise help people in the surrounding 5 counties, including Baxter, Marion, Sharp, Izzard, and Fulton. You can help by donating your unwanted items and by shopping at the Salvation Army store. Those in need get assistance with rent, utilities, sending kids to camp, and many other things. When it comes to this charity, the Salvation Army always helps those in our community.
Hi, I'm Ricky with Arch Trash Pickup. If anybody needs trash service in the area, please give us a call. Arch Trash Service is veteran owned and I've been in the local area resident for over 20 years. I'll provide a better service than the other guys and even provide front door service trash pickup for those that aren't able to take their trash to the curb. We'll also pick up almost anything and even provide free recycling. I am Ricky with Arch Trash Pickup. And please give me a call for all your trash service needs.
Have you ever noticed every time you wash your car, you end up wetter than the actual car? Next time, run down to Car Care and let the friendly staff put a smile on your face. Car Care of Mountain Home has a variety of services to clean your vehicle's needs, inside and out. From a simple wash and shine to their outstanding detail services. Located 1525 Highway 62 East in Mountain Home. Stop by Car Care Mountain Home today, because driving a clean car always makes you feel good.
Diatley Dental Care is a family-owned dental practice. Doctors Irvin and Christina Diatley grew up in the Twin Lakes area and are proud to serve the community. With modern treatment methods and state-of-the-art technology, they are dedicated to providing exemplary care to patients of all ages. Our compassionate team consistently receives training above and beyond the standard of care.
We're changing the way you see dentistry.
Come be a part of our dental family.
Alzheimer's Arkansas announces their 2018 Mountain Home Hope for the Future on Friday, May 18th, 2018 at Christ Community Church at 759 Highway 62 in Mountain Home, Arkansas from 7:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Free for family and friend caregivers, free financial support available for respite care, and free breakfast and lunch provided. For more information, you can call Alzheimer's Arkansas at 501-224-0021 or visit them at www.alzark.org/hope for the future.
If you want the best...
$7:34, back with our Sheriff John Montgomery, and what do we need to talk about next?
Let's talk about this gorgeous weather we've been having.
Yes.
And our lakes and rivers are beautiful.
Spring is here, ready for summer.
And the crime rates go up in the summertime, don't they, when the weather gets better?
They certainly can, and that's why we depend a lot on our community, neighbors, help us. If you see something suspicious with your neighbor's house, or call it in. we'll check it out. Even if it's not, maybe it's legit, but we want to check it out. Also, you've got the website pulled up there.
Yeah.
If you look up the top, there we go. Submit a crime tip. We encourage folks to use this, and so you can send a picture if you want to. If you notice, it says email optional. If you put an email in there, we will call you or contact you back. If you don't, we're not going to know who it come from. It's totally anonymous. You can upload a photograph if you want, or a file, but typically it's photographs. So if you see suspicious activity, maybe you think you've got a drug house or whatever, and you can safely snap a couple of pictures, upload that. This also, we have a mobile app that's free to download on your iPhone or Android. It's got the same thing that you do there, where you can submit a crime tip. We get a lot of tips, and while all of them don't pan out, a lot of them do, and it helps us.
Yeah. You know, it's kind of the extra set of eyes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, the lakes and rivers. Remember, just like you don't drink and drive, don't operate a boat and drive. They cracked down pretty hard on the laws and made them even tougher. So we want you to have a good time, and that's actually what our goal in law enforcement is to come here, have a great time, get here safely, and leave safely. That's our number one goal, and that's what we do.
So now on the new, we've got the taxes. You know, we're talking with the county judge Tuesday, I believe. The see, right now we're on a 3/8% to build, and then a quarter.
No, it's 1 penny. The 1 cent sales tax will be in effect for 6 months.
Yeah.
So from April through September, there will be a 1 cent sales tax. And that will generate, or should generate, enough to build the facility. And then starting next January, so missing the Christmas season, there'll be a 1/4 cent sales tax that will kick in to run the operation. And we did that for a couple of reasons. One, we did want to miss the Christmas season. But number two, what that will do, the jail's not going to be open at that point anyway, but that will allow us to go ahead and start getting the personnel lined up, getting them hired, getting them trained, so that when the doors open, because we're already 4 staff short now, and so by doing that, that'll help us.
And with the money that generates, that kind of makes more liquid cash for the judge's office to use. Your 1.2 or 1.5 million a year that we're hoping this will bring in, that wouldn't come up from the other.
Well, this will generate our budget. Will right now is 1.1 something million for the jail. If we hire the additional staff we need, plus you're going to have other expenses, obviously, with the bigger facility, we figure our budget will be at that time roughly 1.5 to 1.6. But currently, that 1.1 million that we are having to run the jail today is coming from the county general budget, because Baxter County was one of the very few counties that didn't fund the jail when they built it. And so they've been trying to operate it off of just general revenue. And so that will free up money, which we in the sheriff's office need. I have 2 budgets. I mean, I have the jail budget and the sheriff's budget. We haven't had an increase in patrol deputy staff in 19 years. We've actually lost an investigator because we have taken one of our investigators to work drugs full time. And so, we now have, I think there's 4 or 5 court systems, and I've got 2 court bailiffs. I mean,
that's just, when they've got to be in the court, then they're not out doing anything else. They've got to be.
So it's we've got other needs, but hopefully once this kicks in place, there will be some relief there for all of us.
Now let's explain to folks, what's he talking about this tax? It's a sales tax. And who pays it? And I'm a very firm believer in a sales tax over any other time, because starting next week on the 9th through about the 12th or 13th, we've got a baseball tournament. What the mayor say, like 40 or 45 teams coming in?
Yeah.
And when these families come in, you're going to be bringing in a lot of people. They're going to be in the restaurants, the hotels. They're going to be at Walmart and Home Depot. They're going to be all over everywhere. And money spent comes into that same coffer.
Well, in this case, we tried a unique approach, and we've talked about this many times. But this sales tax, this 1 penny sales tax, is only for 6 months.
Yeah.
Instead of dragging it on, I think Marion County's is 12 to 14 years. They did a bond issue. Lawrence County was, I think it was 12 years bond issue. That's typically the way it's done. We're trying an approach, pay for it as we go, and so we believe that this 6 months. So started April 1st. It ends September 30th.
Yeah.
And of course, I think the people, even the people like myself who don't particularly like an increase in taxes, it makes sense in that let's get it done, and then take it off.
But with the tax that starts January 1 of 19, that's not just a tax on Baxter County people. Anybody that spends money in Baxter County. So I think it's more diversified. I think it's a more fairer tax.
Well, I do. I mean, and there's some that would argue they don't. But I had one gentleman said that he would support an increase in property tax. Well,
no.
I don't like that from the standpoint of if you don't own property, you're really not paying for it. The people that come in to visit aren't who are generating and needing some of those services are not having to help pay for it. And so it's a small amount, that's added. And again, 6 months only, that penny goes away. And it's clearly, I've had people say, well, yeah, you say it's going to go away. No, it's clearly written.
It's in the law.
It's in the law. It's clearly written. So September 30th, that 1 cent goes away.
And when you initiated this initiative, so to speak, when that was, let's see, does it go to the Attorney General first and then the Secretary of State or vice versa? And once the wording is accepted, probably by the Attorney General, and like you just said, it's in the law, it cannot be changed once it's signed off.
Yeah. Well, and the only way, you'd have to go back to the voters. You'd have to vote something different. But no, it's there, and it's done. And I think the voters in Baxter County, I think they liked the concept. It passed with roughly a 70-30 margin. So. And again,
it was a good common sense approach, in my opinion.
And I say thank you to the voters, because you look, we're at 115 this morning, 120 over the weekend. We've got to hold these people accountable. We want to keep our community safe, and if we don't have a place to put them, you're just letting bad guys out roam around.
No, you had a very good example. January 1st, when you get the taxes to operate. When I spend $100, what's that going to cost me?
25 cents?
Yep. So spend a quarter for every $100. Now you can't get much fairer than that. That's couch cushion change, So I think it's a good concept, and it's going to work. And I think one thing though that I've seen over the years, even back when we're talking in the days of radio, you've become more of a training outlet, and I'd like to see your guys make good money. How many times have you lost a good person? Well, they're going to Conway, they're going to here, they're going to this PD or over here, and sometimes making $7,000 or $8,000 more than what you can afford to pay.
Yeah, that happens on a regular basis.
That costs you money.
Well, it costs us it costs us money, but it also, there's the second half of that. Law enforcement is a little bit different in that. Some jobs you go in, you learn that job and say it takes you a month to learn how to do it, but you're there right now. You go into a fast food place and it takes you a few days to learn the system and you're up and running. In law enforcement, you may go to the academy and come out and you say, well, I've spent all those weeks in the academy and I come out and I've got on-the-job training and now I'm ready to go. It doesn't really work that way, because everything is so fluid. It's kind of like we talk about domestics. Very dangerous situation. I've been on hundreds of domestic calls. Don't think I can remember two being alike, which means that every time you get there, you have to assess and handle that situation. And while, yes, a lot of times you've got plenty of time to make a decision what you're going to do as an officer, but there is many, many times when you have to make a decision in a split second. So it comes back to experience, it comes back to training. Truly, it's probably 2 or 3 years of experience for an officer before they've handled enough situations that we as supervisors feel comfortable enough to feel like that they're going to always make the right decision. So when you lose that officer, that good officer, and you go hire somebody new, it's not that we may not be hiring good people. They just don't have the experience that's crucial in law enforcement. Now,
it's a difference between life and death in some situations.
Now we are fortunate. There is actually a consulting firm doing a wage study on Baxter County, the employees of Baxter County, not just sheriff's office, but all of them, to determine if there is a discrepancy, and if so, what that discrepancy would be. And then at sometime later this year, they will present that to the quorum court, because ultimately it's the quorum court that's going to have to.
Sure.
And in defense of the quorum court, you can't spend. We're not the federal government. You can't spend more than you take in. Which, I'm sorry, this keeps segueing into something else. If you've noticed on the news the last couple of months, when they release the sales tax numbers, and by the way, we're always 2 months behind. Right. So they just released the numbers for February. And if you'll notice, so far this year, they've gone, well, tax revenues are down. Well, that's not exactly true. And I want to clarify this. Judge Pendergrass and I were talking about this Tuesday night. The issue, if you remember, back last fall, this county had to pay back an overpayment in sales tax of $300 and some thousand. And so it went back over 3 years, but if you cut it down, there was a particular company that was overpaying $12,000 a month. Okay? So not only did we have to pay it back, but from that time forward, that company's no longer paying the extra $12,000.
Yeah.
So when you look at the sales tax numbers, and I believe the numbers I saw that we were down, what was it, 4,000 or whatever it was, well, we know we're going to be down 12. So actually, we're up.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, dollars were down. So the economy is still growing in this area. People are still coming, and they're still spending their money. But if you just listen to it and say, well, sales tax revenues are down, and not take into account that there's 12,000 that we know that's gone anyway, it can be very deceiving. So we're excited, and we feel like that the economy is up.
I agree. Yeah. Quick break. More with the sheriff right after this. Scooter.
Be right back.
If you want the best breakfast or lunch in the Twin Lakes area, then you've got to come to the Old Time Restaurant. Voted the best breakfast and lunch for 2011, the Old Time Restaurant not only gives you the Southern hospitality right when you walk in the door, they also offer scrumptious breakfast options to curb that early morning appetite. Or stop in later in the day for a tasty sandwich, salad, or a daily special. If a sweet tooth is your guilty pleasure, you can't go wrong with the Pie Lady cooking out over 30 different types of pies. That's the Old Time Restaurant located on the square in Mountain Home.
You already know that Ferris mowers are the only mowers on the market with a patented spring suspension system, saving you time in the seat, less back stress, and a professional even cut every time. You already know that Mower Warehouse is the only area dealership that will accept your mower trade-in. But did you know that a truckload of discounted 2017 models just arrived at Mower Warehouse, allowing you the pleasure of saving hundreds of dollars on your next mower purchase of a new Ferris or Simplicity zero-turn machine? Come check out the parking lot sale at Mower Warehouse, located on Buzzard Roost in Mountain Home.
You've tried medications just cover up the pain, and you've tried dieting to help lose weight. Before you try something drastic like surgery to get rid of the numbness and tingling, why don't you try a better approach to health? Hi, I'm Dr. Charles Osgood, and at Mountain Home Family Chiropractic, we heal the whole person the natural way.
At Mountain Home Family Chiropractic, we take a hands-on approach to chiropractic care, massage therapy, and nutritional counseling. Our 20 years of service has led to successful results.
When I come in to see Dr. Osgood, sometimes after one adjustment, I have immediate relief. Sometimes it takes 4 or 5 adjustments.
I recommend Mountain Home Family Chiropractic because it really works and keeps me pain-free.
Mountain Home Family Chiropractic supports the community by donating to Mountain Home Food Basket and the Lions Club. Request an appointment with us today at Mountain Home Family Chiropractic. Excellence for your body and frame alignment.
More than just propane, Reeves Propane provides you full-service propane delivery as well as tank and piping installation. We are your dependable choice, offering the very best in personal service with on-time deliveries and competitive prices. Reeves Propane also sells and installs tankless water heaters and appliances and can even convert your gas cook stove to liquid propane. So no need to fuss and cuss about bad service. Call us at Reeves Propane. We greatly appreciate your business and God bless.
$7.50 on this cloudy, going to be rainy some more day. Visiting with Sheriff John Montgomery, and boy, I'm glad you're our sheriff, but I don't know how you can handle some of this stuff, the frustrations. But anyway.
Well, I'm very blessed. I've got great people that work for me. Really do. They care about their job.
Yeah.
And it shows. We get so many compliments on the sheriff's office, and we've got a bulletin board up there that is just full of cards and thank you letters and so on and so forth, and we appreciate it, and the officers appreciate it, because I'm telling you, a pat on the back goes a long way.
Yeah.
You know, we had we had an officer involved shooting where he ended up having to take the life of a suspect, and that officer was cleared. Which the process was the state police investigate, they turn it over to the prosecutor refused to file. Well, the prosecutor announced that it was a justifiable shooting. But what I will tell you was impressive is how many cards and letters that officer got from this community in support.
Yeah.
That meant a lot, and I can tell you it meant a lot to him, and it meant a lot to the rest of the department.
Yeah.
So, if you took the time to write, thank you. I mean, it truly means a lot when we get those cards and letters.
And I'm sure that was last resort.
It absolutely was last resort. And we're fortunate that the officer was not hurt any worse than he was.
Was he shot at first? Was he hit at all?
Well, I'm not going to go into that. If you've got questions like it, seriously, you need to talk to the prosecutor on that. I mean, but he is fortunate. There's no question in my mind.
What about the emotional?
Oh, it is emotional. I mean, nobody wants to take take another person's life, and then when you put that on the fact of it could have easily gone the other way. In a split second, it could have gone the other way, and so now you are also dealing with having to have taken someone's life, but then realizing that could have been you, that would have been gone as well. I mean, it's almost a double emotional issue there, and I would say that it will probably stay with him for the rest of his life. So I feel for him and his family, and. Just had a.
But he was doing his job.
Yes.
And there's that split-second decision where he sees, he's monitoring, he's thinking, he's trying to stop the suspect, stop the crime, whatever was going on. The last resort was to pull the weapon and use it.
And of course I call him a young officer. He's young to me. I mean, but he's a great guy. Just had a baby not long before that, and so good family, good guy, proud to have him. I mean, we've got good employees. It's just, I can't say enough their dedication. Something happens, and just to snap a finger, they're come running.
How does that affect the morale of the entire departments?
Well, it's sobering in the fact that in one sense we're a little bit isolated up here, and we don't typically have a whole lot of that happening. And while you can talk and all and train and say, hey, always be aware, when you're rarely faced with that. So it's sobering to all of the officers, that hey, that could have been me.
Then we take a look at, I was going to try pulling a map up of Baxter County. You're not just in Mountain Home. You're in Big Flat, you're in Three Brothers, you're in Gamelia.
That's why I go back to not having any. We haven't had any increase in patrol deputies in 19 years, and so we. I mean, it's sad, but on any given day, probably I didn't look at the schedule, but I'd say I probably have 3 working today. I think I'm fully staffed. We had 3. So when you have 3 covering this county and thinking how elongated it is and how long it takes you to get from Mountain Home to, say, Big Flat, or Mountain Home to Lone Rock, which is where this incident happened, or how long does it take you to get from here to, this county line on the other side of Henderson, or I mean, we had a situation. Cotter was last week was needing some assistance. Cotter officer got on the radio and said, "I need help," and so they called the sheriff's office, and the deputy was just finishing up a call in Henderson. That was the closest one. Now, as it turns out, I was in my vehicle and was close and went and assisted, but I'm just saying, typically
it'd be what, 21, 22 mile run?
Yep.
Wow. Oh, it makes our jobs look easy, doesn't it, Scooter and Jerry? Oh, my goodness. Wow. Final thoughts. What do we got? 3.5 minutes, Scooter? Yep, 3.5 minutes. Final thoughts are all yours.
Final thoughts.
You're going to look at Jerry. Go ahead. Final thoughts.
I've been
Jerry.
reading about that Act 570, and I think it's creating a bigger problem than what is intended. And I notice everybody's into this emotional, let's coddle them. Let's give them a program and make them feel like little children. And let's, you know what I'm saying? Let's
whatever happened to the old chain gangs? Remember the old chain gangs where they chopped
That's
blocks
where
all
I
day
was
long in the hot
going
sun?
with this, Dale. That's exactly where I was going.
Yeah.
Can't you make it where they don't want to go to jail?
Well, but we're a kindler in
No, that's what I want to get away
exactly.
from.
Exactly. Now, I will say this. I will argue on this that there are some folks early on in their criminal career, if you will. Maybe it's the first time or second time they've been arrested, and I think that maybe we should work harder and spend more time, money, resources. And if maybe we could help them with some job skills. Maybe if they have a substance abuse addiction, that maybe we can help them with that. And I'm talking early on. Don't have a problem with that. But we had a guy in our jail roughly a month ago that had been to prison. Now I'm not talking about jail. Prison. We sent him for his 16th time.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly believe he will serve less than 6 months this time. Now tell me, is he going to be able to be rehabilitated?
That's what I'm saying. That's insanity. Keep trying to do the same thing over and over to people that are just not susceptible to it to begin with.
It's the mindset.
So
that's weird.
So again, if you're wanting to, I mean, the guy that we had a manhunt in Cotter, what, month ago or whatever it was, the guy had been to prison 7 times, had been convicted 5 times of being a felon in possession of a firearm. He served less than 120 days on his last trip. Those are the guys, and that's why I say here, while we may need to do a little better effort on the front end, we need to, as I told one of the senators, I said, we need some sort of legislation that is going to force them to be locked up. Now, there was a bill presented that said on their 3rd trip down they had to do 80%. And that particular senator said, well, I think that's too strong. We can't afford that. And so I said, pick a different number. And his response was, well, I don't mean what you mean, pick a different number. I said, well, if you think 3's not, how about 4, 5? Let's make it 6. 6 trip down. I don't care. But at some point, we've got to say enough's enough. And so we've tried. We've tried to help you. It's not worked. So you are a menace to society. You are harming society. So that's where we're going to lock you up. And we're going to keep you there.
Sheriff John Montgomery, thank you for being here today. And, wow, tough job.
The problem is you almost need to change it at the state level so that the counties and everything behind it.
I'd actually proposed in a newsletter having layered prisons. In other words, prison number 1
Yeah.
First time down, rehab,
10
job
seconds.
skills. Prison number 2, a little tougher. Prison number 3, in other words, your third trip down, and maybe your fourth trip down was basically, it's nothing but hard labor.
Alcatraz.
You know.
There you go. Got to run. See you tomorrow. Have a nice day, everybody. Thanks for joining us.